out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@nwheeltime.com. Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild-to-wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers. Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at texastruckworks.com. Live from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, Texas. It's the award-winning In Wheel Time Car Show. Just ahead, we talk to more of the cruisers with the cool cars here. Mr. Mars got to test drive the Infiniti QX80. He'll tell you all about it. You'll also get this week's automotive news, Conrad's Car Clinic, and the stories making auto news headlines this week on the In Wheel Time Car Show for Saturday, November 21st, 2020. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeff Zekin, and David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us today. And thanks to all of the cruisers out here that have come to the Tailpipes and Tacos event. We've got about an hour left of the event, and it's going to be every third Saturday of the month. So that'll put us right before Christmas.
And the weather is stunningly beautiful.
It
oh,
is.
my gosh,
Yes,
you couldn't ask for a better day.
So, Mr. Mars, who's our next guest?
Jeffrey, I'm going to tag that one up. Ricardo that has this Brookwood wagon sitting right out
With
here.
He's the one.
Oh, yeah.
He's the one.
He's the one. Because we were talking about you. I don't know whether you heard this or not, but a couple of hours ago when you pulled in there and you dropped it down on the ground with the air ride suspension, we thought,
Cool car.
Cool car. Pretty cool car. How long have you had that car?
I've had it for about 2 years now.
Yeah. Did you do all the work to it?
No, actually, that car is a Boyd built car.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That is a Boyd Coddington car?
He built it for his son, Gregory, to go to high school in.
Wow.
Yeah. And
So it's direct from L.A.?
yeah, we came from L.A., but I got it from a buddy of mine who's had it for the past probably 20 years.
Really?
Yes.
Now, so all of that work was done by Boyd Coddington's shop?
Yes. It was originally all red. He sold it to Ron Kraft from Ron Kraft Chevrolet.
I know Ron.
And
Ron.
he put the flames on it.
Okay.
And when I got it, had the flames on it. It was basically just like that, but I put the air suspension on it because it was too low and you couldn't really go fast.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, a great job. I mean, it's a beautiful car.
Yeah.
So unique. You
Yeah.
just never see those. Is it a 59 or 60?
It's a 59 Brookwood two-door, and it's an original two-door.
A
It's not-
59 Brookwood two-door. You know, in 59, I did not know that they made a two-door wagon.
I wasn't. I
knew
knew
that
they
about the
Chevy
Nomad.
had made other two-door wagons, but I didn't realize that they had made a two-door wagon in the full-size body. I knew they did in the Chevelle
Yeah.
in like 65 or 66, but I didn't realize that they had done it later or earlier in the 59 genre.
Yeah.
So was it two-door only that 1 year, or do they have a couple of
No,
years?
they made 4 doors, 2 doors, and they made them in 1962.
Okay.
But they were both of them considered Brookwoods. In the 55 to 57, they had it was
Nomads.
called the Nomad.
Yeah.
And they did have a Nomad in 1959, but it was a 4-door. But it had all the Impala emblems on it.
Okay, so it had the upper level
Yeah.
trim of that full size
Yeah.
Chevy. And would the Brookwood would it be considered an Impala level of trim, or was it more of a Bel Air or a
It's-
Biscayne level of
It is
trim?
the lowest.
So Biscayne level.
Yeah.
of
Really?
trim.
Yeah. The Brookwood was the working man. They used them for
Deliveries.
post office,
Deliveries.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'll be.
Yeah.
So do you know the history of that car or just from the Coddington era?
Yeah, that's the only thing I know from the Coddington area. They put it has a full Corvette suspension under it, like from a 91 Corvette.
Oh, wow.
It has a LT1 from a 91 Corvette, and so it got independent front and rear suspension.
So it rides great.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, how cool is that? Yeah, to look at the car, you wouldn't know that. I mean, if you got a chance to look at it up in the air, I haven't gone under the hood of it. But how cool is that? And quite a unique car. I'm sure it attracts lots of attention everywhere you bring it, especially the closer they look and they realize the work that was done to it.
Yeah.
It just looks good. I mean, it's classic hot rod look with the flames and everything on it.
Yeah. It's a real good car to drive. I've taken it to Galveston, to Austin, and it just drives good. AC works. Everything's good.
So it's a driver's car for you.
Yeah.
It's not just pure show car.
And you've owned it for how long?
About 2 years now.
2 years?
Yeah.
And you do cruise-ins with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Did you show it at Autorama at any time?
It was at Autorama back in 2000, 2002, but I've never taken it up there because it's been showed too many times.
Was that when Ron owned it, or when your friend owned it?
Yeah, when Ron owned it. And actually, Ken Caminetti used to drive that car all the time.
Ken Caminetti, the baseball player.
Because he's good friends. He was good friends with the guy that owned it before I did.
Yeah.
And he drove around it all over Houston. He went to all the car shows, to all the Nifty 50s car shows.
Now, do you live out in this area in Katy?
I live towards Tomball.
More toward Tomball, okay.
Yeah.
So did you bring it down the Grand Parkway?
Yeah, 70 all the way.
I was just going to say, how does it run?
It runs great.
Does it?
Fuel-injected motor.
Fuel-injected motor. What kind of transmission?
I think it's a 700 R4.
Okay.
So it's
got an overdrive. Yeah.
Makes the buzz go away.
Yeah.
And
that's sweet. So have you taken it on any long road trips?
Like the furthest is Austin.
Austin? Well, Austin, San Antonio. That'd be the first two cities that come to my mind.
Yeah, but the guy who had it before I did, he drove it to Dallas, and he went to all the car shows.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But he just got tired of it.
Well, so do you have any other plans for it? I mean, clearly you've bagged it. I mean, you've done some work yourself to it.
My deal is to put it back the way Boyd had it, red with all the chrome on it, and redo the inside. Just make it all new again. But we got to remember, this car was built for his son to drive to high school.
Oh, so and it's not been changed since then.
It hasn't. It still has the original wiring from a 59.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
does that cause you any problems?
So far, I haven't yet. When I first got it, I had to do a little bit of wiring, but after that, everything worked great.
Well, back in those days, the wiring was simple.
Yeah.
I mean, power ground. I need electricity to the alternator. I need electricity to the starter and the coil, and that's about all it took.
Yeah.
And then to adapt it to put the LT under it, that took a lot of effort to do that. But what a cool car! So when you raise it up, it'll get up there pretty high. How much of a lift can you get in it?
I think in the back I get about 6 inches, in the front about 5.
And that's just to make it more drivable going down the highway as opposed to scraping everything as you go by.
So when you bought the kit, the bags, did you buy it for the Corvette suspension?
Yes, I did. That's one thing I had to figure out because, and even though I bought the kit for the suspension, for the Corvette, I still had to modify it a little bit to fit the 59. Because
to fit the body.
Yeah. But it basically everything bolted on. Well, the first time I took it out, I popped the airbag because I didn't clearance it out enough.
Scratch something?
Yeah. But
which is not uncommon.
Yeah. Then the second time, after I started driving it, I've never had a problem with it anymore.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Because I know the function of how they work and that sort of stuff, but I've never really talked to anybody about the installation and how difficult it was. And so you've brought up something that I never even thought about, because if they made it for the suspension, you would think that it would just pop it in there and it'd be fine. Well, popping has a different tone when it starts rubbing up against something. Was it rubbing up the chassis or something?
It was actually on the front because they used to have a leaf spring. There was a bracket that held the leaf spring in place, and the bag just rubbed up against it.
That bracket.
So what you do? Take very much.
Yeah, I just cut it off a little bit, and we're good to go.
Gotcha.
But it's been a good car. So.
How long did it take you to put that kit on there?
About 2 days.
That's all?
That's not bad.
So a weekend?
Yeah.
See, I thought it'd been much more difficult.
Yeah. Because it was all bolt-on. Now, if I had to build it, it'd probably cost me, take me a little bit longer.
Right.
But it was all bolt-on. You just took off the old stuff and put this on there. That's
wow.
Easy. Plug and play.
Yeah, the hardest thing was to run. If you did plastic lines, it would have been perfect. It would have been easy, but I put copper lines for durability. And
because you didn't want to be driving to Austin and lose a line along the way.
Yeah, then you'd be all the way down.
So, then you have to bend a lot of copper.
Yeah, but copper bends pretty easy.
and copper bends pretty true.
Yeah.
It's a soft enough metal where it doesn't kink.
Yes.
If you use the correct bending stuff, where it won't damage it. And copper's going to be pretty corrosive free over a long term, where some of the other stuff you might use could build some corrosion up inside of it.
But that's a huge decision to make, to go from.
Well, it's a lot of copper line. That
thing
car is long.
What is it, 20 feet long?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's like 20 feet long.
Yeah.
Well, so you said that you're going to redo the interior.
Yeah.
Just put it back the way that originally was when Coddington did it originally?
Yeah, well, the way it is now is just worn out.
Of course.
It
Just needs to be updated.
Yeah, it was done in '95, so it just needs to be cleaned up, redo the carpet, redo the seats, and I want to repaint it all red again.
So
The
get rid of
interior?
the flames.
Yeah.
And get rid of the flames.
Yeah, get rid of the flames.
So, do you have some pictures of it when Coddington owned it?
Actually, it came out in I think the '97 catalog of the wheels. It was
Of Coddington
it was on the
wheels?
front catalog.
Okay, so you do have a good representation of what it should look like.
Yeah.
Well, you said you also want to put the trim back on it, the chrome trim.
Yeah.
All of that was taken off by.
Ron Kraft when they got
Was it
painted.
chrome or was it stainless?
It's stainless or chrome. It's polished stainless, I guess.
But just the factory trim.
Yeah. And just to make it look like it's supposed to.
Yeah, Ron Kraft had a unique collection of cars through the years, and I didn't realize that was one of Ron's cars. He was, I called on him. He was actually an Oldsmobile dealer for a period of time.
Yeah.
And when I worked for Oldsmobile back when they were off of Garth Road.
Yeah.
And Ron, not only a big collection of cars, he was quite the motorcycle guy as well. Had a real good collection of motorcycles too. Interesting that's the next Ron Kraft car.
And he's the one that named it the Sweat Wagon, because on the inside the engine cover it says Sweat Wagon, because when he first got it, it had no AC.
Oh, good Lord.
And
In Houston, Texas, I cannot imagine such a thing.
No.
so he went on I guess they call it the Power Tour back in
Yeah.
I guess '97
With that
99.
car.
With that car, but
Right.
he said he went halfway through it and stopped. He said it's too hot. So the next year he had AC in it, and that's why they named it the Sweat Wagon.
I was going to say that big a car, it's like an easy bake oven inside of there. I don't think you could stop from sweating.
Yeah, and
So does it have vintage air in it?
yes.
Vintage air, yeah.
Yeah. And it works pretty good, but if you're sitting in the back seat and it's hot outside,
Yeah, no.
Don't have anything ducted to the back, huh?
Yeah.
You'd have to have one of those rooftop air conditionings to supplement it back in the
Yeah.
back 40 back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that thing is.
Look
Now,
like
does
a
it have-
motorhome.
Yeah. Does it have the back seat in it?
It has the second seat, but not the third back. The
Does
third
it have the third?
Did the Parkwood come with the third row?
Some of them did, some didn't.
Oh,
I
was
don't-
it? So
I
it
don't
was an
know-
option?
Yeah, I don't know if this one came with it.
Okay.
Yeah, because you said this was
A Brookwood.
Brookwood,
I
not the
keep saying
Parkwood.
Parkwood,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
So the Parkwood may have, because that was more of a family vehicle, but this is more of a
Working.
Send down
working
deliver- yeah.
vehicle. So I
So
bet
you
it
could
didn't
probably
have,
retrofit one in there, because I just like
Yeah,
the.
I would think so.
I like the fact that the back seat facing backwards and
Yeah.
And Don back there doing this to the truckers.
No, I'd be something else, a lot different than that. You know me.
Never mind.
Yes, my family's here. My wife and my two daughters are here, and my other daughter, she's in Hawaii right now.
Did you all come in the
Yeah, in the 59.
Lucky girl.
Yeah. Well, she's based over there in the Army.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
she's in the Army.
Very nice.
thank
Well,
her for her service. We
what
appreciate
a
it.
great vehicle, man. We all went, wow, that is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's all of the cars here are cool.
And there's some real nice cars out there.
There really are. Is this your first time at this
yes,
show?
the first time at
Is-
this one.
So how'd you find out about this? Through the In Wheel Time show?
Actually,
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
that's what it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, I went and worked on what we call it, the owner's car yesterday. On his Bentley, he had a little spot on the seat, and he told me about it, so I decided to come up here.
So you do trim work.
Yes.
Okay.
I do paintless dent repair and interior repair.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, leave us a card.
Okay, I'll leave you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Actually,
you
I don't
can
have
you
any.
can you can fix little nicks and seats and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh well, good. I need your card. I can get myself out of trouble with Angela.
Yeah.
Angie's Mercedes has got a weird little spot in the seat that kind of looks like somebody cut it with something in their back pocket. It wasn't me because I don't drive.
You're
a
such
car.
a liar. You are such a liar. We know that it was you.
Nope, wasn't me.
See, there he goes.
No, it really
no,
wasn't.
it was you. We
No,
know it
I'm
was.
not allowed to drive her car. But yeah, we'll get some information from you because I might make use of you.
All right.
The trim work is a talent because for me the talent of trim work, because I have 10 thumbs, is getting the trim apart without breaking a tab or breaking a clip. And some of that's just understanding how the stuff disconnects underneath. Once I take it off the first time, I understand how it comes off, but sometimes that first time taking it off, you might have to replace one or two of them. Or
Yeah, I've done that a couple times.
Yeah.
that's
cool.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
so will you do your own trim work on that, or will you?
I probably will do the seats. There's only one person that makes the seats that actually has the original material, and that's over there in New Mexico.
Oh, wow.
I forgot the name of the upholstery shop, but
Are you serious?
yeah, because you can't find the material, and they have it. The original material with the cloth has like 3 tones of red in it.
Yes.
And you can't find that anywhere. I've tried looking everywhere.
Oh, how cool!
So these guys, they do it. They gave me a quote on it, and I'm just they're 6 months behind. So they said you could put down payment now, and in 6 months we'll call you and tell you to bring your car.
So you bring them the car. You don't just.
So they actually do the install.
Or they can. Or you got to send them the door panels, because the door panels have a metal trim on top, and they got to reuse that. But actually, on the seats, they'll send you the seats, and we could recover them, or you
Okay.
could send them the car.
Okay.
I think
So,
I'd rather
if I was like Conrad, all thumbs, and didn't want to try and do the seat, I could
let them
just
do
send
it.
it to
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
But I think I could probably do it. But I want to wait until I redo it. I want to take it off, frame off, redo the bottom, paint it all nice.
Well, and being an original Coddington car, there's value in that association as well.
Yes.
In the car, so to bring it back to what he had built will be pretty neat.
Yeah. I've had plenty of offers on the car, but it ain't been there yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would be. Cause what are you gonna replace it with?
Nothing.
A house?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, but you know.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
No, they haven't driven it yet.
No, because you don't let them drive.
I don't let them drive it.
It's not one of those kind of things.
Yeah.
This looks like one of them right here.
Yeah.
2 of them.
No, that's my wife and one of them my daughter.
Oh, I see. So, all right. Well, hey, it's great to talk to you. Thanks so much for stopping
All
by.
right, thank you.
Love learning about your car and everything. And
It's really cool.
hopefully we'll see you again out here.
Yeah,
And
I should-
congratulations on having a Coddington original.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty rare unto itself.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm very happy with it.
Thank you. We'll hope
All
to talk to you again
All
soon. Hey, we're out here at the Tailpipes and Tacos, a cruise-in on this Saturday at the Loopy Tortilla in Katy on the Grand Parkway, just south of I-10, the Katy Freeway. Just want to make sure that we get that straight. At any rate, so it's time now for our
703.
So it's time now for our car review. Mr. Mars has the Infiniti QX80 to
Well,
talk about.
I have to apologize because I didn't come
Don't
prepared
tell me-
for the QX80.
But wait a minute, it's on this sheet of paper here. It says
I
QX80.
I wouldn't deny that, but
he switched to the Cherokee
but
Latitude.
I looked at my calendar and apparently
And
I
so you
was
and you
looked
so you,
at the
you
wrong
looked
line.
at the calendar and then you didn't tell me that that's what you were going to go with.
Well, no, I thought I wrote that down.
No. You got to remember, he's a Jimmy Buffett fan. So it's changes in attitude and changes to latitude.
Yeah, the Latitude is the wrong line in the calendar. I got the QX80 down for next week, and I don't have the review with me on it. So I'm going to have to do the Cherokee.
Do we have pictures of the Cherokee?
Yes, sir, we do.
Oh, well,
I was all prepped for the Cherokee. I'm just not sure.
Where the latitude,
Where,
where
yeah.
Don came from.
Well, no, I probably sent it to him. I don't have that in front of me.
This is
It
Mars'
says Cherokee
sheet.
Latitude.
It does not. It says you know that it says right here, Infiniti QX80.
Cherokee Latitude. I'll look at
Such
mine.
a liar. All right.
I'll look at it later. I
Please
don't have
go
time
ahead
to
and
look
do
at
the
it now. I
damned
need to
interview.
talk about the Jeep Cherokee, the 2021 Jeep Cherokee Latitude Lux model 4x4.
Don throwing out all the show notes.
Well, why start following them now? So, what we're talking about here is a compact crossover SUV. Now, it's kind of moved as it started moving into, when you look at the other vehicles in the category of the compact crossover SUV, you're going to find that the Jeep models tend to lean more towards the SUV than the CUV. So what that means is, with all the off-road capabilities that the Jeep has built into it, it makes it a lot of different changes in it. But you can get this particular one in a Latitude, which is the entry level, or Latitude Plus, Latitude Lux, which is what we had, or you can get it in a limited, and you can get a Trailhawk, which is the off-road model. Now, this is for the serious off-road from the factory type stuff. All of them are 5-passenger vehicles. You're going to find on the outside of them the traditional 7-slot grill, LED headlights that have got a slim design that kind of flows back into the body lines. Got a power lift gate, dual panel sunroof, so that when you're out and about in the wild, you can have lots of sunshine coming in. And it rolls on some 17x7 satin aluminum wheels. Makes it a little bit different look to it. Now, you get to the interior of it. We got the leather trimmed seats because this is on the upper end of the model line. The front seats are scented. Front seats are heated. We had the optional 8-inch display for the Uconnect, where you're going to find your Apple, you're going to find your Android CarPlay, all your air conditioning controls, all your controls there. And one thing I found out rather interesting, it's got a humidity sensor in it built into the inside of this vehicle. I never did find it, but there's a humidity sensor built into it.
I guess it turns the AC on to draw some of the humidity out.
Could be.
Interesting.
And we also had the premium Alpine audio stereo system. So it had some really nice sounds to it. Again, we're talking about a Jeep here that you can go off-roading in, and you'll have some cool sounds. You got 25.8 cubic feet in behind the seat for cargo, which is a little bit smaller in that category. But what it does is they've increased the passenger space, kind of cut into that a little bit. Now, up under the hood, you got a choice of 3 engines, and one of them includes a turbo. And we happen to have the 3.2-liter V6, 271 horsepower, 239 pound-feet of torque, up at 4,400 RPM. So you got to wind it up a little bit, but it came with a 9-speed automatic transmission.
So that should be sufficient, though. That should
it is.
Feel pretty peppy, actually.
It'll run pretty good, but you got to remember that this is a heavier vehicle than most of them because of all the transfer cases and all the suspension for the off-road trail rated. And it will tow 4,500 pounds. So it's got some suspension to go along with all the engine and everything. EPA says you should be looking for about 19 miles per gallon in the city, 27 on the highway, combined 22. Now, I actually got closer to 20 on the week that I had it. And because, again, the power level is pretty good on it. It's a little bit heavier vehicle than most of them in that category, but it is quite responsive. And it'll give you plenty of power when you're in the off-road world. Because it is heavier, it does ride nicer out on the highway than what a lot of them will do. So, but again, this is more SUV than CUV because of the Jeep components. If you're looking for comparable vehicles, you might look at a Honda CR-V that's based out at $25,350. Toyota RAV4 is going to be in that $26,250 category. And the Subaru Forester starts at $24,795. Now, you can get a base Jeep Latitude for $26,310. Now, our base test vehicle was $31,625, and our MSRP as tested is $36,355 for a compact crossover that is trail rated to go off-roading in.
Thank you very much. Time now for our events calendar, and Conrad's got that.
Well, of course, the event to be to is where we're at
right now. It's got 30 minutes left.
And it's
we're going to do this again next month, the third Saturday of the month.
Okay. So is that
and so the first Saturday of the month, we've got Chrome and Coffee at the
Sharpstown.
at the Sharpstown Golf Club, and that's Craig's Chrome and Coffee. That's the first Saturday.
The third Saturday is.
I'm sorry. That's the first Sunday.
Yeah,
right.
Sunday.
That's the first Sunday of the month, and this event, Tailpipes and Tacos, is the third Saturday of the year.
So tonight at Freddy's Steak Burger is the monthly cruise-in Magnolia. Tomorrow is the One More Gear Rise and Race out at Houston Raceway Park. Should be a pretty good event. It's more test and tune with your track, to get some runs down the track, but they're also going to have a car show component to it as well. SCCA is running tomorrow at Track Sprint up in New Caney, and then Speed Sports is going to be in New Caney as well at 8 o'clock in the morning. Sunday at 10 a.m. is the annual Toys for Tots Toy Drive and EV Car Mate at the Greatland Living, which is north of Bel Air, right off of Beltway 8. Sunday night is going to be Freddy's Steak Burgers at 1960 in Eldridge. And then Wednesday night is going to be Freddy's Steak Burger in Katy. And Friday night is Freddy's Steak Burger at Kirkendall in 2920. And then Saturday, December the 5th, is going to be Houston Performance Driving Twin Peaks Twin Peaks meet
Twin Peeps.
Twin
Peeps.
Peeps.
It's
Twin
Twin
something.
Peeps. I like Twin Peeps.
Up in Shenandoah.
Shannon Donuts. Shannon Donuts.
I got way too much on my mind.
You've had some tequila before you came on here, didn't you?
I should have.
No, you did.
But that'll be that'll be the big toy
Do you
drive.
do
up
shots?
There. Not this morning.
Do you do shots?
Not this morning.
I know that not this morning, but do you do shots?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all I needed. I was just a little.
Back in the day, my drink of choice was Cuervo Gold on the rocks in a tall glass.
Oh my, I don't think I could do that. It's kind of like drinking moonshine.
Well, tequila is not an alcohol; it's a drug. It makes you do stupid things.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
But I digress. So that's most of what's going on. There's some other stuff coming on. Exotics on Market Street in January, and the Lone Star Rod and Custom Show in Austin. That's going to be in April. Lone Star Throwdown, I believe. Has Lonnie and have they talked about what's going to go on this year?
I've not heard.
It's hard to get a hold of them boys. They're out at so many shows right now.
Well, they were
all over
watching
the
us
South.
earlier.
There are no shows.
Lonnie and Todd, if you're what's your plan? I know February's been your plan through the years. We're not real sure where everybody stands right now with what's going on with all of the virus issues. So, but lots of stuff going on. There's always stuff stuff to
We've
do.
got more of the In Wheel Time Car Show from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In out at the Loopy Tortilla in Katy, and we're going to do that right after this.
Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@nwheeltime.com. Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild to wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers. Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at texastruckworks.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Show, the award-winning weekly go-to all things automotive place. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeff Zekin, David Ainsley, I'm Don Armstrong, coming to you from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, Texas. Thanks for joining us today. We're so glad that you could ride along. We got about a 30-minute window here to squeeze in some more guests. Mr. Mars, who do we have over in the hot seat right now?
Well, you've been looking at this 67 Impala sitting right out here, the fastback model, which is kind of unusual. Now, that is owned by Mr. Gary Bartlett, who's joining us now.
I absolutely love that car.
I'm telling you.
Seriously. Yeah. And I mean, I never, ever see that car.
No, you don't.
You don't see
unusual.
67 fastback Impalas.
You don't. I looked for probably a year and a half before I found
Where did you find it?
Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Natchitoches, Louisiana. Was it a Louisiana car originally?
No, it's an Arizona car originally.
Yeah?
And
do you have the history on the car? Parts of it? Pieces of it? None of it?
I have pieces of it.
Yeah.
You know, I bought it. It was a original numbers matching car, SS396 Turbo 400, 12-bolt car. I found it on eBay, and it didn't reach reserve, and I got a hold of the owner, and like a lot of guys do. To get
Right,
on.
sure.
And
Worked out a deal?
well, I got within $500, and he said, "Why don't you just come see the damn car?"
He's going
He
to
said, "If you don't think it's worth the other $500, he said, I'll pay for your gas to go back home."
Well, that's
so
fair enough.
I drove from Sugar Land to Natchitoches
with a
and,
trailer.
No,
Oh no.
running driving car.
You're going to plan on driving it home.
I brought a mechanic with me, and a friend of mine was a mechanic, and he went all over the car, and he said, "You know, this is a rust-free, solid car."
Has it got the original frame and everything?
Yeah, well, I got tubular suspension and four-wheel discs now, and some other
Right,
things.
you've upgraded it, but it's still.
Yeah, it's got the original 12-bolt rear end, and
That is so cool.
I looked at the car. He said, "Take it down the road. Gas tank is full." So down the road I went. I drove about 10 miles, brought it back, gave him his money.
$500 an hour, huh?
Yeah, I said, yeah. And then I hopped in it, turned the air on, and drove it home.
Back to Sugarland.
Back to Sugarland.
From Natchitoches.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
2001.
Oh, really? So you've had it 20
time.
years.
I've had it 19 years, yeah, almost 20
That
years.
is. What about the motor? Is it the original motor in it?
No.
You put an
drove
LS in it.
I drove it stock. It was a low mileage car. It was a 68,000 mile car when I bought it for $7,500.
Oh,
Be-
that's a steal.
best deal I've ever had.
No kidding.
For a numbers matching SS, yes.
Oh yeah. So anyway, I drove it stock until late 2010, and then converted to LS. It's got an LS6 circa Corvette 2004.
Right.
Put it in with a 6-speed, and I drove it with a 6-speed until I don't know, 5 months ago, I guess. It was either put an automatic back in it or get my knee fixed. So
You put the automatic in it.
yeah, but I wish I'd got my knee fixed. It'd been a hell of a lot cheaper.
Still.
And easier.
And your knee's still bothering you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but he's still bothering me.
So do you drive it often?
Yeah, in 2011, right after the motor went in and everything was running,
Right.
I took it on the power tour.
Oh, you did. How was the power tour?
I started in Cocoa Beach, so it was a long way to drive from
get
here
started,
to there,
To get
Right.
started.
and then on up to all the way up to Detroit and then back. It was 4,400 miles.
Whoa.
I got almost 23 miles to gallon.
Did you?
Yeah, it's a
Was
beautiful
that
drive.
was still with the 6-speed, though.
Yeah.
How
I missed the
cool
other
is
2
it?
gears. Huh? No
4,400
breakdowns.
miles, no problem.
No, absolutely none.
Well, why would it have? Why? It wouldn't have a breakdown. It's all new.
Oh, it's an old car. They all have breakdowns.
Yeah.
Now, when you bought
And a
the-
lot of people on Power Tour understand that and bring lots of spare parts and
yeah.
tools to help people along the way.
Yeah,
does it still have the 52-year-old wiring in it?
Partially. It's been upgraded some for the
When
for
you
the
did the
computer,
conversion.
for the LS
Right.
stuff, right?
Right.
But yeah, I still got the original fuse block under the dash.
Still the same interior?
Yeah, same interior, same color. I mean, it's all original colors.
Oh, wow.
Really? So it was white with a blue interior?
Yeah.
Ah, I love it. Don't tell anybody, but of all the cars that are here, I really like that car a lot. A lot.
Hey, we got something in common.
Yeah, we do. Apparently. And you live in Sugar Land?
Actually, I live in Richmond now.
Okay. You moved out of the
Oh yeah,
out of the city.
I went further out in the suburbs.
Yeah.
About 3 miles from where I lived before.
Gotcha.
He's on the way to Needville.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Going the wrong direction.
Yeah, that's the wrong
Yeah,
direction.
you got to go the other way.
No.
Yeah. But, I truly appreciate the car.
That is.
Now, it does not
awesome.
have the stock wheels on it.
No, they're Foose wheels.
Foose wheels.
It's got vintage air.
Yeah.
It was an original AC car,
Was it?
but to clean up underneath the hood, and I went to vintage air.
Yeah.
I kept everything. I kept the motor and the transmission and all the.
So you've still got all that stuff.
No, I finally, after about 10 years, I sold it. Or 8 years. Sold it 3 years ago, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm never going to put it back.
Yeah, and it's going to be your forever car anyhow.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know how long that's going to be. I'm 79, so.
Oh, my gosh.
Are you really? Yeah. Man, you look good
But you
for
got all,
79.
but you've got all the factory look to it. Like you say, you went to vintage air, but since it was an air conditioned car, you could keep the vents, you could keep all the dash material looking original.
But you know
Yeah.
what? I have to compliment you on this. I'm typically not one of those oversized wheel kind of guys, but that really does look good.
They're
Yeah.
17s. They're not that big.
well, I can't see it because Jeff's
Yeah.
standing in the way, but that's beside the point.
There's 17s, yeah, but they're clearly bigger than the stock tires.
than the
that were-
14s that
yeah,
came from the
14s that
factory,
were-
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
But they look good.
And the other thing is that it's so clean. I mean, there's
Well,
no
part of what makes it clean is the hard top. There's no post.
Well, there's that, but I was talking
it-
about the trim in particular. I mean, there's no door edge guards on it. There's not the other stuff that's hung on it. It's just clean. It's got the engine badge up on the front,
it just
Got the SS on the
Well,
back.
and it's really got a different look because of the fastback. If you look at the window, he's got both the windows down on the side that we can see. And the way that the lines on it flow together there, that you
really
don't
cleans
see
it up.
that unless you were looking at the fastback car.
well, there weren't that many of those
Well,
back.
here's another SS, but it's a 65,
Right, but that's-
60, yeah,
That's a 5,
65.
yeah, 65.
It wasn't. There weren't that many built. If
No.
I remember correctly, back in the day, there weren't that many two-doors because when you went to the big-bodied cars like the Impala, most people got the four-door.
Right, family.
There's
Am I wrong? Am I right?
No,
Or
there
you-
were a lot of two doors. Then there were a lot of SS 396s. That was the. If it had been a SS 427, I wouldn't have touched it, right?
Right.
Because they were rare, very rare. 396s.
A little more
So
popular.
they
Yeah.
offered 427s.
They did.
with this 396 as well.
It was a 427 385 horse, and you could get it in an automatic or a 4-speed. But they didn't make very many of them.
Was the automatic power glide, or would it have been a 3-speed?
It would have been a 3-speed. It'd have been a turbo 400.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
think so.
But they're
67, yeah.
They're very rare. It's hard to believe, I guess. If you put a 65, 66, and a 67 side by side, they're exactly the same length. But the roof profile is what
That's
makes it look longer.
I was just going to say that is what makes that car. That and that right rear, the rear fenders on it. The way that it's all blended in to the
Yeah.
fastback.
It's got a little more of a rise to it than that 65 that just rolled by.
Just absolutely gorgeous. It's a stunning car. And I'm sure that you probably get lots of compliments on it wherever you take it.
Yeah, I've had a lot of places I get compliments, and then I get people saying, "Why did you ruin the originality?" Well, because I could. It's my car.
Yeah.
It's your. That's
My
right.
God, it's my car.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, and as
Think of all the money you've saved not pouring gas into that 396.
Well,
yeah, it's gone into other
I don't
things
worry.
though.
Gas is pretty cheap right now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. But there are. I've changed my opinion. I used to be an LS change-out resto mod hater, but I've grown to appreciate them. And like you said, it's your car. You can do whatever you want with it.
Plus, it's the simplicity of it. Now it's key up, fire up, and it runs.
Yeah, you don't have to
go
worry
pump it and worry about flooding it and going to a flood start. Yeah, it's
Well, and this guy here was the one that told me, because I've always been a '69 Camaro. It's my dream car that I'll never have. But I always wanted it original. I want the 302 in it. I want the 4-speed in it. And, I tried to say carbureted. And he said,
fuel
no
injection.
reason to do that. And so I thought,
Not if you're going to drive it.
they've now got the fuel injection system that looks like a carburetor. You put an air cleaner on it, you can't tell the difference.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have one of those. I have a '78 Malibu wagon with a mild 350 in it and the Phytech fuel injection.
Yeah.
And it drives wonderfully.
And you don't have to worry about, the choke sticking or the float sticking or some sort of fuel problem with it.
The fuel today with an old school carburetor, you're always going to have
Issues.
always going to have issues unless you drive them all the time.
Right. Yeah.
It's a new world, and
So you have a station wagon, too. You were holding back on us and didn't tell us that.
well, I can only drive one at a time.
Well, I know. But
So how many miles have you put on this since you bought it? Since it sounds like you're not.
well, we know
afraid to put miles on
4,400
it.
for sure.
Yeah.
Probably 30,000,
Have you really?
maybe a little more than that.
So you
drive it.
truly do enjoy
That's
the
8 or
car.
10,000 miles a year. That's pretty good.
That's the driver. No, it's
No,
not.
he's had it for 19 years.
Let me get my shoes off and recalculate.
Hey, use my fingers.
Yeah.
No.
Now, do you do a lot of the work yourself on these?
I used to.
Yeah.
Then I aged out, but and I actually have a little more money now to play with than I had back then. So,
Right.
so things I would have done myself before, I now pay for.
Somebody
So
else to do it.
do you go to a shop? Do you have a particular person that you go to for
there's a
different folks?
Yeah, there's a shop in Rosenberg that I use as a restoration place that does You know, they do a little bit of everything.
It's not the one on Highway 36, is it?
It is. It's South Coast Rides.
Yes, I know exactly where that is.
I've been using them for 15 years plus.
Yep.
I mean, they're
Well, once you
They're
find
great.
a place you can trust and they do quality work, it's easy to go back and recommend them to other people. But you don't want to recommend them to too many people because then they get too busy.
yeah. But if you recommend them enough times, they'll get you in.
So let me ask you this. Do you know a friend of ours by the name of Bill Seitz?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. In fact, I've got a one of his
Pieces of artwork
on that particular vehicle.
Yeah, yeah.
I do too. My Rally
That's-
350
it's a
isn't
big
here,
one.
but
Yeah. Bill's a good guy.
Yeah.
hell of an artist.
And
Yeah,
Bill
he
lives
is.
out there in Richmond now.
He's actually in the same place I am. I'm in the Del Webb
Yeah.
Yeah.
old folks home. I mean,
Yeah.
over 55 community.
Yes. Well, we actually did a broadcast out there. I
The
guess it was a
Oldsmobile Club had their car show there at the
community
clubhouse.
center.
At
Community
the
center,
lake
yeah.
house, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
That was a real nice show too.
yeah, that's a beautiful neighborhood out there.
Yeah, it is. It's my wife passed away last year, so I needed a change. I needed to downsize and I needed a change. But you know, I'm gonna have to get a couple little dogs, so I'll be
keep
able
you
to-
occupied.
well with my neighbors, right? That's it.
Yeah, exactly. So, do you have any other cars other than the station wagon and this one?
I have one other. I've got a '71 GMC Sprint that I with 50,
Well, you go for the
57
odd ducks,
50
don't you?
57,000 original miles,
Oh my God!
fully documented, all the way from the GM to dealership invoice.
Did you buy it new, or you just
No,
got the
but it still had the dealership name on the title when I bought it.
Oh wow! So what motors in
close
that?
enough?
It's a 350 two barrel with a turbo 350
A
and
lot of people don't know what a GMC Sprint is. It was GMC's version of the El Camino.
yeah, it came out in '71.
It was a good-looking car.
Yeah, and it looks it actually is in pretty nice shape. You know, it's rust free. The history on it is there was a dealership in Chickasha, Oklahoma, called
Ralph and Sons.
Ralph and Sons.
I called on them
Yeah,
as an they had an Oldsmobile franchise as well. I
That's
called on them in the '80s. Ralph and Sons. How?
I bought that vehicle from Ralph's son.
Oh gosh! Now I'm
That is so cool.
gonna pull his name out of my head.
You
here.
know, we're going to come and hang out with you. You don't mind, do you?
I don't mind.
Okay. So, yes, we definitely need to stay in touch with you. You know that we do this show every Saturday, and we do it out of Sugar Land, so you're right down the street, so
I
to
am.
speak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I live
That far.
by the sugar factory.
On
So,
a big map, yeah.
yeah. So, well, it's great to know you and to meet you, and hopefully we'll get a chance to chat some more. Maybe we just have one of those throwdown little get-togethers where we have
do some shots.
do some shots. Yes, we'll do some shots. I can get my buddy. Are you a Houstonian?
No,
Not originally.
not originally.
Yeah.
I'm from Rochester, New York. If you want to go back far.
Oh my
enough.
God,
But
this
I-
guy.
Westchester County, New York.
Yeah,
So you were outstate. I was suburbs of the city.
yeah. I'm up on Lake Ontario. between
Kodak country.
Kodak, Eastman Kodak, Xerox, you know,
So
Falcon
before you retired, what did you do?
little as I could get away with and still get paid a lot of money.
You're clearly a car guy because we know that whole genre. Yes.
Yeah, I worked for. I originally started out after I got out of the Armed Forces, out of the Air Force, in early '64. There was a guy that I was in the service with when I was based in England, and he got out a little early because his father had a heart attack. But long story short, his father had a bar in Cheneyville, Louisiana, the only bar in Cheneyville.
Okay.
And he said, "Come on down when you get out, we'll get drunk." So, sounded all right to me. So
Yes.
when I got to McGuire Air Force Base in New Jersey, I sent my Foot Locker with all my stuff I wasn't going to
On
need
to
anymore,
Louisiana.
and sent it up to New York to my dad's place. And I got on a plane and flew to New Orleans and caught a bus to Cheneyville.
Yeah.
So I showed up, and timing was perfect, right? The town had voted itself dry, and the bar was just inside the town limits. So
Timing. It's all in the timing.
It's all in the timing. So we drank the stock.
Yeah.
Got to do something with it.
And then drove to Berwick, Louisiana. Well, I actually drove to Morgan City and looking for a job.
Yeah.
And found a job working offshore for a company named Geophysical Service Incorporated, which was originally the parent company for Texas Instruments.
Oh, wow.
So I worked for them all over the world.
Yeah.
I worked for them and the company that they sold, that TI sold the seismic company to, for 29 and a half years. And then I retired and went in business for myself, and then that was too much work. So I got back in the geophysical
So
exploration business.
you're an oil guy.
Yeah.
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 Well, it's good. Houston, Texas, oil. We
Works
get it.
well.
Yeah.
Fits.
Yeah.
So I started that at 23, and I retired from that stuff 3 times at 72.
Very nice.
And he's got a passion for fun cars.
I do that. I've had a lot of them.
Well, it's great to talk to you. Congratulations, beautiful car, beautiful collection of cars, and we're gonna meet up. We're gonna meet up again soon. Okay.
I hope so.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for stopping by. So.